Hey everybody, welcome to a very special edition of the Joys of Games podcast. This is not a numbered podcast because we're doing something a little bit different tonight. We are talking about and reacting to the official Nintendo Switch presentation that we both just got done watching. I am one of your hosts, Josh Brown. I am joined, of course, by the cynic himself, Colin Wheeler.
Good evening.
You're a little grumpy tonight, Colin.
I don't know if I'm grumpy.
You are mildly disgruntled.
Think about it. We're like the yin to the yang tonight.
Possibly. Nintendo revealed the Switch, full on in all its glory. What'd you think?
So I thought the presentation overall was just not very good.
Okay.
I think they would have been better suited as a direct.
Sure.
And just kind of cut down on a lot of the weird awkwardness of like these executives and producers that just seemed totally out of place, in my opinion.
Sure.
Then this might just be because they're from Japan, they're from another country, so it's a completely different like cultural context. But like for me, I thought there was like way too much like dead air, and then the lack of gameplay that they showed in a lot of the games kind of bummed me out.
Sure. I understand what you're saying, and I didn't come for the presentation. I came for the information. You're right. It is 100% a Japanese presentation. Like, the crowd was not responsive. Like, if this was like an E3 presentation, people would have been like cheering and clapping, and like there would have been audience engagement. But it's not the social norm in Japan to react like that. Like, even watching like pro wrestling in Japan is super weird because everybody is just focused and watching. So like getting a reaction out of a crowd is a tough thing to do. Like that is a whole different atmosphere than what we're used to, and that's why I feel it probably felt super uncomfortable to a lot of people. Also, like, I know what you're saying, like as a direct, this would have been like very well scripted. Hold on, pre-orders are going up now live.
Yep.
Crap. Okay. It would have been very well scripted, very well implemented, a nice sizzle reel, if you will. But I think the investors wanted to see it live. I didn't think it felt like they didn't want to take any chances with like a video being leaked or anything like that. It to me, it honestly felt like the people that heavily invest in the Nintendo company, this was a presentation for them, and we were just allowed to watch it.
Yeah, I don't know. I agree what you're saying completely.
And I think that's why they have like the whole Treehouse presentation going on tomorrow and all that stuff. You know?
I'm definitely more excited to hear about the Treehouse, to see what they have to show.
Yeah.
But I don't know, like my main hiccup with this whole thing is, and I'm going to reiterate, I'm very excited for the system. I think it's a perfect solution and marriage between both handhelds and home consoles. And it, generally speaking, like all they showed hardware wise is exactly what I wanted. I'm very excited for the hardware, and I even think the price point is fine. I think the $299 price point is fine. My only concern is people not like me and you who are Nintendo fanboys that are looking at their secondary console buying purchases, and they're seeing that the Xbox One is on sale for $250, or if for some reason they have the Xbox One, the PS4 is $250, right? Then they're looking at Nintendo Switch and they're like, oh, it's $300. And I know it's not a apples to oranges comparison,
Right.
but a lot of people are going to see it that way.
Yes and no. I mean, Nintendo is still putting out Nintendo games, and that's what it comes down to. You know, even if they have great third-party support, Nintendo console will first and foremost always be for Nintendo games.
Yeah.
You know, beyond that, I think it's an additional bonus. I don't think this is meant to replace or make the console the number one console in a household of multiple consoles. I think it's just supposed to be something different, a unique experience, more social, in weird ways.
Yeah, let's talk about the social stuff for
Okay.
a minute. I'm very excited about the fact that we're gonna have friends lists, that we're gonna have voice chat. Now it is gonna be a premium online service, which initially, like me, is like, oh man, more money I have to pay. But at the same time, it's like, if they're gonna have a paid online service, and you had said this too, is it's most likely going to have a better online service. Like overall, the servers are going to be better. They're going to be more stable.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you and I played Splatoon a couple times, and it was kind of
Hit or
kind of
miss.
rough, I would say. Yeah, it was hit or miss getting together. So like the fact that if I can pay, let's say $50 a year, and I can get solid online service consistently, that's great. And then not to mention, if you look on Nintendo.com, you do get looks like a free trial of an NES or SNES game,
Mm-hmm.
free for that particular month, which is kind of cool. So like, in addition, you get like discounts, kind of like the PS Plus works out. So there's a lot of really cool stuff with the online service, and they haven't announced pricing yet, but my guess is it's gonna be about $50. Would you say the same thing?
Probably. I mean, that's kind of the comparable price, but we don't know what's included with the online service, like fully. Maybe it's lower. Who knows? They didn't answer all the questions tonight, and
No.
I 100% understand that. Looks like the Switch is sold out already on Walmart.
On Walmart?
Walmart.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you get it?
I did not get it because it was going to be a week before I got it, and I wasn't interested in waiting a week.
We're gonna keep a lively, up to date pre-order news throughout this podcast. I feel like
This is going to be a very raw podcast, because you're going to hear me clicking frantically and scrolling, and I'm sitting in my squeaky chair, so like there's
Sure.
going to be a lot of noises, so I do apologize.
but the
hey,
online
guys.
service, like, we don't know what it is. We don't know what it's going to contain. We didn't find out if there's going to be a trophy system, a better friends list, like the PSN or Xbox Live. Like, we have no idea if that stuff is included or not. They didn't talk about that stuff at all.
Right.
I feel like that kind of the minutia of those kind of things will be better served in directs or during the treehouse or even press releases. The show was choppy enough as it was, to where like you start talking about like the very integral details of things. Like, people walked in wanting to know release date, price point, what games to expect like soon, and like all the hidden secrets of like the controllers and the device itself. And I think they did a really good job explaining the Joy-Cons. I think they did a really good job explaining all the different ways you could play this thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The battery life, 2.5 to 6 hours. Like, if nailing that 6 hour window is a big thing.
So my expectations was it was going to be a lot like the Wii U's battery life, and it sounds very similar to it, which
Right.
I'm totally fine with.
Here's the exception, though.
Yeah.
You could plug in a portable battery pack to it.
Yeah, and that's cool because it's USB-C.
Yep.
So here's the thing, it's USB-C, so not only can you plug in a battery pack to it, but it will charge very quickly.
Yes.
Because it is USB-C. So
Yep.
that was a very smart decision on their part.
And you can play while it's charging.
Yeah, which, I mean, if you couldn't do that, like, I would be very upset, honestly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So,
but for, like, all the people that are saying, like, it's not going to be long enough for a plane ride, whatever, everybody has portable battery packs at this point, especially because of Pokemon Go.
Not to mention, there's USB ports on a lot of airplanes nowadays.
Oh, yeah.
That you can plug in devices to. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So this thing suddenly, like, that big concern about battery life is wiped clean. So we found out March 3rd is the release date.
Yeah.
A lot earlier than people thought.
Holy crap. I was like, whoa.
You're
crazy.
going hard, Nintendo. That's less than 2 months.
Best Buy just put up the pre-orders, by the way.
Of course they did. Yeah. Podcasting like a professional.
Isn't it fun to do it live?
We are dumb. We should have done this after we got our pre-orders in.
We are so professional. I want to be professional.
I don't even know what I was saying.
Battery
life good. I'm
gonna do a lot of editing, buddy.
No editing. This is raw, Colin. This is raw. No thanks. Go to cart. Yeah. Release date March 3rd. A lot easier. A lot sooner than I expected. Than a lot of people expected. Which I am okay with. The sooner the better. That's less than 2 months. That's crazy talk.
Yeah, I can't believe it.
$299 price point. They only have one SKU. There's no multiple models, no nothing.
Well, they do have the 2 SKUs. They have the one with the multiple colors and the ones without. So
no different, but they're the same price, I guess. And that's, I think, key. They're not going to confuse anybody walking in trying to figure out, is this, worth the extra $50 or not? You're not going to have retail associates trying to explain the price difference and what that equates to.
Right.
So, yeah. How's your pre-orders going?
Good so far. Done. Got my pre-order in.
Which one did you get? Did you get the grays or did you get the red and blue?
I got the grays.
Me too.
There's just
wrong. I got red and blue.
There's just a sleekness to it that I just...
Sure. So the colors. Let's talk about the colors.
Yeah, so the colors are really cool. Like I was I was texting you as we were watching the stream. I was like, oh man, the colors are so great because it really reminds me of the Nintendo 64.
Yeah,
like that's what it reminds me of. Like all the various colors. Like there's so many different colors I want to choose from when the 64 came out because they had like the gold, they had the green, they had the blue, they had the red, all sorts of different colors. So like the fact that out of the gate at launch they're gonna have different Joy-Con colors is super cool.
Yeah.
But for me, like the reason why I just pre-ordered the black, like I just want it to look really sleek.
Sure.
And then my secondary controllers, I want to get colored ones.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
Oh yeah, totally. Here's what the colors says to me. They are already thinking about different color schemes and different integrations of this thing. They're not going to be afraid to go like the Wii U. Like we only saw the white and the black. Like the DS's, we saw some really cool colors. Not as many as Japan got, but I like that right out of the gate. They're showing that they are willing and able to switch it up color wise. Sorry, I had to, Colin. We just heard an hour-long presentation of nothing but Switch buns.
Yeah, which I gotta say, yes.
Yeah.
I'm all about the dad jokes.
Sure. So price point, I think, anything higher than this would have been a mistake. So I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
If they could have got it to $199, obviously that would have been like the stupidest thing. The most unrealistic but most awesome thing ever. $249, I think, would have made a lot of people happy. $299 does not feel like it's too egregious. Anything past that, you're in trouble.
I 100% agree with you. Yeah, it doesn't. It's not. It's not that bad.
Sure.
Like it's very standard console price. Like that's the standard price point. And I would say like it's even less expensive than a lot of console launches. I mean, you look at the Xbox One, it's $500. PS4 is $400. And granted, this is a less powerful machine, but what's the word?
Versatility.
There you go. Versatility that you can do with this thing is incredible.
Yeah.
but yeah, so the hardware, like I said, the hardware itself is fantastic. Like, super excited. Joy-Con, all the functionality. I'm glad that it has motion control, because you know what that means. That means we're going to get Wii virtual console titles on here.
Yes.
Like, we are going to have, in theory, and I hope, we're going to have every single generation of Nintendo games on here to download.
This kind of feels like what they're going for.
Yeah, and you know, it's funny when they announced the Wii as the revolution. My big takeaway when they announced it was that you could play all of their previous consoles on one system, and that was a revolution to me. Let alone the motion control as well. So this kind of like bringing everything, including Wii U ports over, it's very exciting. It's very exciting because it's basically like a legacy system that is also a handheld, which is kind of a weird thing to like wrap your head around.
Right. Yeah.
So
in the package that you're getting, the $299, you're getting the console, the dock, 2 Joy-Cons, the grip for the 2 Joy-Cons, of course the HDMI and the AC, which with Nintendo that's not a given, I guess, and the straps for the 2 Joy-Cons, which I think is a nice little bonus because, for one, the straps, you know, sure, they add a little bit of safety to it, whatever, but they also add more functional L and R buttons to the Joy-Con controllers, which I think is necessary because the little tiny ones, that wasn't going to work. You need the straps.
Yeah, they are really small. These are not like Wiimotes. These are like half the size of Wiimote.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I'm glad that it's small for portability's sake, but oh man, you're gonna lose those so fast.
Yep.
I got a weird anecdote for you. What do you think about the case? Have you seen the cases yet?
They're like tall and skinny, right?
Yeah, they're like PSP cases.
Yeah, sure. Whatever.
I love it.
Doesn't matter.
And there's also the Breath of the Wild Collector's Edition, which I'm waiting for it to go live on Amazon, called the Wild Master Edition. I need that in my life.
So they announced very last thing, Breath of the Wild is coming launch day. Boom.
Yep.
It was either going to be Mario or Zelda. Once Mario Odyssey was revealed to be a holiday title, I was like, okay, for one, that Mario looks great. I'm going to play every Mario they possibly put in front of my face. I cannot wait until holiday. But once that happened, I'm thinking they have to do Zelda. Zelda has to be a launch title. They cannot. Both of those cannot miss launch. And they were holding back. It didn't feel like it was going to happen. And then once they decided to kick it back to Tokyo for like the official announcement, for one, that trailer, stunning.
Oh my gosh.
Beautiful.
I got the feels, man. I got the feels.
They hit in all the right places. But then they announced launch day title. Done. Thank you, Nintendo. That's all you needed to do.
Yep.
You know,
and
I'm already getting people on my Twitter feed complain about like there aren't a ton of games on launch day. I will never understand this concept, Colin. I will never understand why people feel like they need to have 15 or 20 titles on launch day to justify buying a system. How many games are you buying at once? How many games do you still currently have wrapped in cellophane waiting to be busted open on one of your other systems? Sure, a large variety of games is great in theory, but really, how many of those launch titles are you going to play if there's 15 or 20 of them, you know?
I totally understand what you're saying. The only thing that I would say that is the current president, is it Kimishima? That's his name, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He said that they're delaying the Switch for more software.
Sure.
And I don't feel like, and this is just me, this is my personal feeling, beyond Zelda, I'm not super ecstatic about what they showed for launch.
But
like the
Zelda's
1-2 Switch,
such a big game.
Oh, sure.
And you're not going to play any other game.
Oh, absolutely. And you know, the thing about it is though, like, I have friends who are texting me saying like, I have no reason to buy a Switch because I'm just going to buy Zelda on Wii U.
Okay.
Which is totally fine.
Sure.
Like, I totally get that. I just, except for like the hardcore fans and the people that did not buy the Wii U, I just don't see a reason to buy the Switch day one necessarily.
Not yet.
Yeah. And I think,
they
honestly,
haven't laid out day one launch yet.
And I think that it's going to be like the 3DS again, where and I don't think it's going to sell as. I think it's going to sell well. I don't think it's going to sell bad like the 3DS. What I mean more so is that we're going to see serious momentum when Super Mario Odyssey comes out, because not only do you have Zelda at launch, which is amazing, it's perfect.
Yep.
You have Mario Kart 8 in April.
Yep.
Deluxe Edition, which I don't know if you've seen the features of that. But
I watched the whole trailer.
Oh my gosh,
the Squid Kids are back.
Yes,
in the game.
Please keep bringing them.
King Boo, Dry Bones, Bowser Jr.
I want to see if they're gonna do more amiibo support for it too, because those Joy-Cons have amiibo readers in them, which is so smart. It's so cool.
Yep.
And then you have Splatoon in the summer, which I'm assuming it's going to be an August release again, because that's when they released Splatoon, the first one.
Probably.
I believe it was in August.
Yeah. Hey, kudos to them
Something
for
like
making Splatoon 2 and not just Splatoon Deluxe Edition or something like that. You know, it's not a straight up port. This is a new game.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm just excited to have a Splatoon on a portable. Like, I've been saying that since the beginning. I'm like, I just need to have this at work so I can play it on my lunch breaks and then get one game in, and then I'm like, okay, I'm good to go. And then, you know, Super Mario Odyssey in the fall, like, it's gonna, you know, just those couple software titles makes it a compelling system to purchase.
Sure.
I just, the overall presentation of it was just not good. Like, I was really upset with the live action stuff and not showing gameplay.
Again, though, it wasn't geared. It was 100%. It was meant for the investors, and we just got to watch it.
Yeah.
You know, again, that's why we get the Treehouse tomorrow.
Oh, I'm so excited for that.
That's going to be what we cling on to and what we enjoy. We're going to see Reggie and Bill Trinen, and maybe not Bill Trinen because he's in Japan. Miyamoto. Like, we're going to get the people that we're familiar with. It's not going to be the awkward stage show. It's just going to be games. Here's the gameplay. Here's this. Here's that. That presentation, sure. I agree. It was not the most riveting TV, but like the stuff that they announced, like I was super stuck. We saw Suda51 on stage. That dude is a weird dude.
He is like, oh yeah. Let's not to mention friggin' No More Heroes 3.
No More Heroes. One of my favorite franchises on the Nintendo Wii. Those games were phenomenal.
They made two, right? Like, they made one on the Wii, and then they made one on the PS3?
No More Heroes 1 and 2 were both on the Wii. Then they after that, they launched No More Heroes 2, like kind of like a upscaled version of it for the PS3. So the first two were originally Wii titles. And then they kind of did like a HD remake of it for the PS3.
What a bizarre throwback! Like, in a good way. Like, I don't mean in a negative way. I mean, like, what a great, like, I remember.
I wouldn't have called that game being announced tonight for the life of me.
No, there was rumors floating around that Beyond Good and Evil was going to be on the system, and that may still be true, and they're just saving it for E3. Like, that's the thing. That's the most exciting thing about this is, like, now that they've gotten, because I look at this presentation, like, after thinking about it for a few minutes after it ended, like, yeah, initially I was kind of disappointed in the lack of, like, launch software, but that's, you know, every launch hardware. But what makes me excited is we're going to see Nintendo Directs again, and we're going to see them coming back in a big way. Like, we're going to be super happy and excited every single time they show a new Direct, because every time a Direct happens, we're going to see software that we have no idea what's happening.
Right.
And, you know, Nintendo, every time they do this, like, even with the Wii U launch, they always want to show off their hardware and what you can do with their hardware and why they're excited about their hardware. And that's where the Switch 1-2 comes in, and what was the boxing one called? ARMS?
ARMS,
Yeah, ARMS comes in. So I like the idea that they're throwing the tech. I do think that the Switch 1-2 should have been a pack-in title. I think that would have been a perfect pack-in title, because it shows...
And we don't know if it's not. I mean, it didn't say a release date or anything for it.
Yeah,
They said ARMS was spring.
But why wouldn't they say that at the announcement? Like, why wouldn't they say that? Why would they withhold that?
Who knows?
But I guess we'll find out tomorrow, you know, in, 8 hours?
Yeah.
What's actually happening. Like, I'm very excited to see that as well.
We're forgetting the biggest thing that happened that was not officially announced during the presentation, though, Colin.
Okay.
It was announced moments after the presentation ended.
Okay. Go on.
Skylanders Imaginators coming day one, launch title for the Nintendo Switch.
So they did show that at the presentation, though.
Well,
I saw
in
a
the sizzle
screenshot
reel.
of it.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, did you read about it?
No. What are they
So
adding?
they're saying, hey, the Switch is a pretty cool system, right? The only thing that would make playing Skylanders on the go better is not having a portal, right? Well, because of the Switch is so different and unique, you can scan in and upload up to 300 Skylanders into the game so you could play and pick from them on the go without having to have the figures while you're playing.
Holy crap.
That's big time.
That's bonkers.
Yeah. You still have to have the figures to scan them in, of course,
Right.
and load them into your library. But once then you could take it. I'm going somewhere. I'm playing Skylanders. I'm picking from all the figures I own. Boom. Done.
That's pretty compelling.
Yeah.
Like if they do that with Lego Dimensions.
Sure. Well, the problem with Lego
as
Dimensions
well?
is, I mean, there's a workaround, I guess, but like how much you have to move the figures physically
That's
on the
true.
portal.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
They have that interactivity on top of it.
yeah,
That's still really cool that it saves it.
yeah,
Like,
up to
I would
300.
Oh wow! I wonder if they're gonna do it with Amiibo. They've got to do it with Amiibo as well, right?
You'd think so.
They have to.
I mean, that's showing that it's possible.
That's really exciting.
So
That's
for like Smash
really
and that kind
exciting.
of stuff, like, who knows, man? Who knows? I bet we get Smash tomorrow. I bet we get more Amiibo tomorrow. We got two more Amiibo announced for the Breath of the Wild. We get the Zelda figure and we get the Baba Kalin, little bad guy dude. So
Oh yeah.
they didn't completely abandon Amiibo. But I'm just stoked to see Skylanders coming day one. Like, sure, it's a few months old already, but like they instantly addressed the how is Toys to Life going to play on a mobile device. They solved it. Done.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's really really cool.
That's
I
bigly,
love
man.
that. please don't use that word in my presence. I know this is 2017, but let's chill out a little bit, okay?
Sorry. Okay. The Joy-Cons.
Yeah,
Those are some cool little things.
they are really cool little things. They're really versatile little things too.
Yeah, I can't wait to turn one into a glass of water and try to determine how many ice cubes are in it.
What a weird way to show that.
I was sitting there watching that. I'm like, okay,
yeah.
what are they demonstrating?
Right. They're like, oh, look, I have one glass. I have one ice cube in my glass.
Sure.
Oh, look, I have two ice cubes. I have three. I'm like, okay, is this a game?
Now,
What is
considering
this?
I just got done playing a game that you just tap a jar of mayo, Colin, I'm looking at this like, okay, I'm drinking a glass of water. I see the point.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that's, 99 cents at the eShop. Tap the mayo for the Switch.
Yeah, no, that was to show off the new HD Rumble feature that the Joy-Cons will have.
Which is hilarious. HD.
Can we just talk about how
Definition Rumble.
much is packed into these little tiny things?
Yeah, there's a lot. Like, you have motion sensors, you
Mhm.
have
Oh, the
Yeah.
camera on the front.
oh yeah, that's also I forgot about that too.
The camera that shows not only like it is enough to recognize hand gestures, like they showed off like rock paper scissors, and it will
Yeah.
recognize what gesture you're showing, but it also registers depth as well.
Yeah, which I mean,
I don't know how they
Hopefully-
do this.
hopefully we have a lot of third parties looking at this, and probably specifically independent developers, and like do some really interesting and fun stuff with it.
Yeah.
I mean, my thing is like, what can they do for like a new Wii Sports? I feel like that would be a perfect another like great way for people to come back. That were big Wii fans and come back with a new Wii Sports with the Joy-Cons, and the idea that you can take it anywhere is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot going on with this thing.
There's a lot.
A lot of good
There's
things.
a lot. There's a lot.
It does also kind of feel, based on the few games that they showed, that the door is open for not every single game to be 100% compatible with both versions of docked or undocked.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the way they were talking about Splatoon and showing off like the different ways you could play. It's like, meh, maybe it's not like a forced guarantee that you have to, when you develop a game, make it so it could be mobile with the Joy-Cons or docked, you know, with the regular controllers as well. Like it kind of left it open for it to be up to the developer's preference, which I'm okay with as long as they figure out a good way to like fully explain that if they sell the games for it, you know?
Yeah, and I think if they were to do that, I think it's going to be one of those things that when you buy a game, either on the eShop or, physical. I remember buying Wii games, and it was a little complicated until I figured out like their system, and that's when you would see what controllers are compatible. Like you could flip over the box, and it would say, 2 players, co-op, online, blah blah blah, and then it would be like classic controller, then it would be like GameCube controller, then it would say like Wiimote and nunchuck compatible. Like it's something like that where it should be like docked or undocked play, or something to that degree, and I think that that'll be perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see why they wouldn't be able to do like I don't feel like it would add any extra work to the developer to have it be like docked or undocked, but I do see the extra work being in there with the motion controls and the different type of configurations there.
Yeah.
Because it seems like the dock is basically just like a glorified HDMI port. Like you just plug it in and
pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and the HDMI just plugs in the TV. Now, I hope tomorrow with the Treehouse, they really like give us a deeper dive into what the dock does as opposed to not being docked, or what the guts of the system is. Like I really am so interested in that. And Nintendo really, I don't recall them ever with the Wii U being that in depth, but I feel like some transparency would be really nice for us fans.
Sure.
Of what's inside the machine.
But yeah.
Who knows? I mean, honestly, I pre-ordered it. I got it. Like, I'm already done. Like, I'm sold. I get it. Buying it day one. I mean, as soon as they said Zelda's coming out day one, I'm like, yep, absolutely getting it. Like, I was saying that before, but like, this is really like the nail in the coffin. Like, I'm like, yep, you got me.
Sure. Yeah, man, I was super impressed with what I saw. I look forward to learning more. Like, the best thing about this is a month and a half or so we get to have it in our hands.
Right.
Like, that's stupid.
I still can't believe it's March 3rd. Like, it's the first week in March. And then I haven't even looked, is that a Tuesday or is
Friday.
That it is a Friday. Okay.
Yeah. And that's a week before PAX East when they said, oh, it'll be at PAX East. So then everybody's like, oh, that'll be your first time to play it before it launches. No, actually not. Nintendo's like, you know what? I don't even care about PAX East.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. What'd you think of Mario?
Oh my gosh. I don't even like. So you are a much bigger Mario fan than I am. Like, sure. I'm a huge, like, I know you like Zelda too, but like Zelda is my series for Nintendo.
Yep.
But this Mario game, I could not be more excited. I have not been more excited about a Mario game since the first Mario Galaxy.
Right.
Like, it looks phenomenal. And not only just the aesthetics, I love the idea that there's going to be, and I assume there's going to be a hub world in here in New York and a hub world, which is just so cool.
Mm-hmm.
But like the mechanic of using the hat as a platform blew my mind.
Yep.
Like, just exploded. I was like, what?
Amazing. First time I started to throw, I'm like, what is he doing with his hat?
Amazing.
Yeah.
And he's like a Four Eyes now, and I want to know what's going on with that. Like, and I was talking to a friend earlier during the stream that I was like, this is perfect because Zelda's coming out at launch.
Mm-hmm.
And this is before they announced Zelda. I'm like, I'm assuming Zelda's coming at launch, and it happened.
Sure.
And then they have Mario in the fall. That's a 2-punch right there.
Right.
That's just like when the 3DS came out. They had Zelda Ocarina of Time, 3D on the 3DS, and then they had Super Mario 3D Land
Mm-hmm.
in the fall, which moved 3DSs. Like, granted, there was a price drop, but like it still moved systems because software moves systems. So
Right, right.
I really I just hope it doesn't slip. Like, I really want to play that game like ASAP because holy crap, it's incredible. Like, it seemed to me like an open world Mario game, which is the weirdest idea that Nintendo can come up with. But man, are they gonna? It seems like they're gonna pull it off. So,
Right.
oh my goodness.
Man, I'm always thinking about pre-ordering 2 of them.
I mean, I was, yeah, I don't know.
Is that stupid?
No, not entirely, because it's portable. Like, I mean, you can play with other people. Like, you can get one for Val. I could get one for Hayden or Sharon. Like, it makes sense. It's just, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I can't.
Well, you
do
did
that,
you
Mario.
you did get your pre-order in, right? You're
Oh,
good
yeah.
to go.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about a second one.
I'm definitely gonna get that Zelda Collector's Edition, assuming it comes out in the U.S.
Right.
That's why I'm waiting to
Oh,
pre-order.
I'm sure it will.
Yeah, it has to. I don't think they've released any Zelda Collector's Editions that haven't come out in the U.S. So
Yeah. And like for the people that wanted like more like straight up Nintendo games, E3's coming in June,
yeah,
you know, and it's going to be full on. This is our plan for the Switch going forward.
mm-hmm.
Here's all the big games because Zelda will already be out by then. It'll be very Mario centric, but they're just going to have the possibility of doing just game after game after game because the console will already be out. Zelda will be already be out. What else do they have to show? All their games. That's what.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So relax. Like Val was sitting there like, when are they going to show Animal Crossing? I'm like, just wait, just chill. Like this isn't the time to show Animal Crossing.
Yeah, because it's got to be farther.
And here's the thing, like I don't
Farther.
know why people feel like Nintendo needs to announce titles that they know, like almost without doubt, will eventually come to it. In order to say, yeah, I'm gonna get it. Like, you know, there's gonna be Kirby. You know, there's gonna be, you know, probably Yoshi. There's gonna be Animal
Mhm.
Crossing. You know, like
Yep.
all of the games that you're familiar with will make it. Metroid, hopefully.
Yeah.
Metroid
Let's-
Prime. I mean, now's the time, right?
Yeah. I my hope is, and this is kind of a weird thing, because some people really don't like remasters or ports, but I really genuinely hope that they port a lot of the really solid Wii U titles over as well,
Sure.
because it's such a great system, and it makes me so sad that so many people didn't buy the system. And I understand why they didn't. I totally get it. But like, there's so many great titles on there
Mhm.
that I feel like deserve new life, a new breath, as it were,
Right.
onto the new system.
Also, yeah, I mean, they quietly announced that the screen was touchscreen, as we suspected, but wasn't ever talked about, which means
Yeah.
Mario Maker, you know?
Yeah. Did they? So I don't remember what kind of touchscreen did they announce.
They
Was
didn't
it
even
like
say.
the? Was it? No, they did say it, but I don't remember what it was. I feel like it was. I can't remember what it was though. I don't know what the terms are. If it's like an iPad touchscreen or if it's like a 3DS touchscreen where you
I
can
don't think they
only.
said. I think they
feel like
just said touch screen gameplay or something.
But they used a phrase.
Are you sure about that?
I'm gonna Google it right now.
You
Switch
Google
touchscreen.
it. You Google it.
Let's see.
Hmm.
Oh wow. Someone saying potential Nintendo VR. No.
Also, one thing
Yes.
that I think was amazing about the presentation, the sound. I will never,
with the Switch
yeah,
snap.
yeah, the snap. Oh, God,
Freaking loved it.
I will
Other
never
people,
be upset with that sound.
other people online were not so thrilled,
Well,
but
you
I
know
thought
what?
it was
That's
great.
online for you, Colin.
Yeah, they're just a bunch of goofs online.
Bunch of goose online.
Yep. I cannot find. an article. They did say it. I remember they said the words. I want to say they had said haptic touch screen, which is similar to like a Kindle or an iPad, but I cannot find an official source. No, I don't want you to play a video. No. Oh wait, maybe I should play the video. Let's see what they say.
The parental controls. Did you read about that?
No, what's going on with that?
Keep the focus on fun by using parental controls to manage how your family interacts with Nintendo Switch. You can manage Nintendo eShop purchases, limit sharing on social networks, restrict access to games based on the ESRB rating, and more. A free app gives you even more choices and a handy way to manage your Nintendo Switch parental controls from anywhere via your mobile device.
Huh. That's cool.
Yeah.
On the fly, you can change it.
Easily take and save screenshots using the capture button on the left Joy-Con. Then view, add text, and share to social networks from your album. Let's see. Power button, volume, touchscreen. Yeah, it just says touchscreen. Game card, audio jack, game card slots, the rail, brightness sensor, the speakers. Screen. Here we go. 6.2-inch multi-touch capacitive touch screen.
Capacitive. That's what it is. Perfect.
Can display a resolution of 1280 by 720.
Cool.
Yeah.
720. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
An HD
Yeah.
Nintendo handheld.
Yep. So.
That's exciting.
Battery life could last for more than 6 hours, but will vary depending on the software and usage conditions. For example, Breath of the Wild can be played for roughly 3 hours on a single charge. 32 gigabyte of internal memory, a portion of which is reserved for use by the system. Users can easily expand storage space using micro SD cards. So
if it is capacitive touch, then that means like you can't really use a stylus. Like you have to use your fingers.
Yeah. Multi-touch.
Interesting.
Capacitive.
Interesting.
Which opens it up for a lot more cool things.
Man, I really hope they announce a bunch more stuff tomorrow.
I have a feeling they will. This was the icebreaker, Colin.
Yeah, this is kind of like I was thinking about it a little bit after it ended. That this is kind of, for me, feels like when Microsoft announced the Xbox One. You know how they had the console announcement, and then they basically waited until E3 to show off like their software stuff. Like I feel like this is very more console focused, but I don't think they're gonna wait till E3. I think they're gonna have a direct in between there, like probably shortly after the launch, maybe in April.
Sure.
And they'll have more stuff that's happening with that.
I mean, but the problem was like comparing it to the Xbox One reveal, they didn't really need to focus on the console for the Xbox One. You know, everybody knew it was going to be an upgraded system. Like there was no big changes except for all the big changes they tried to do and then decided to not do.
Yeah.
But like there wasn't a lot of explanation needed. You didn't need to explain how the controller worked or anything like that. Like this was 100% necessary to explain how these little controllers work, how they all fit in, how the different types of way you could play the games. Like it was 100% necessary. Whereas Xbox, they were just like, we're going to tell you all this stuff that you're probably not going to like. So
yeah, and I'm not saying like that they're, that Nintendo's press conference was worse than Microsoft's. I was just saying that like I feel like that it felt more hardware focused, which I'm totally fine with.
Sure.
My, like I said earlier, my gripe with it is just the presentation overall and the lack of gameplay. So that's why I hope tomorrow they're going to just show a lot of stuff. A lot of gameplay, a lot of like, how do I play 1-2 Switch? And like, I don't know, the trailer showed me very small glimpses of what that game is. And I think that's going to be such a great, like, I feel like I could bring that game over to the same people that I play board games with that don't play video games normally. And that's exciting to me. But it's also not really like a core Nintendo type game, if that makes sense.
Sure.
So I just wanted to, I guess I just wanted to see more of their core stuff. And you know, I guess it's good that they don't show it, because who knows if that stuff's ever coming out. I mean,
Right.
look at what happened to Microsoft and Scalebound. Like, I was very excited about that game. I was really hoping for that game to come out this year, and it's done. Like, it's canceled. So
Sure. I don't know.
yeah,
I just fully believe that this was just to explain how it all works.
yep. And they did a good job there.
Yeah. Nintendo of America just said Breath of the Wild is coming to the Wii U on March 3rd as well.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep. So I appreciate that. Like, business wise, I don't know how smart it is, but they're at least saying, hey, for everybody that bought a Wii U anticipating this game, here it is. You don't have to wait 2-3 extra months for it.
What did you think? I know you're not a big JRPG fan, but what did you think about the Xenoblade 2?
Yeah, it looks pretty.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. Like, I think Monolith makes great RPGs, and Xenoblade Chronicles X was just an absolute marvel on the Wii U. Like, I still cannot believe they could get that game to run on Wii U. So,
right.
So
here's the launch lineup as it stands now. Wait, what? Yeah, okay. 1-2 Switch.
Okay.
Disgaea 5.
Really interesting. Okay.
Has Been Heroes.
Okay.
Which, that's the No More Heroes game, right?
No, that was the character's name, Strike Back, I think. I can't remember what's the character's name in that
Travis
game?
Touchdown?
Yeah, it was like, he said it was a working title, but
Oh,
basically
okay.
it was that Strikes Back.
So what's Has Been Heroes?
I'm assuming it's an indie title. It
Okay.
doesn't sound.
I Am Setsuna. Just Dance 2017.
Yeah, that's the one I've been waiting for.
Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Oh, really?
Rayman Legends.
I'll get Puyo Puyo for sure.
Skylanders Imaginators.
That's a good one.
Snipper Clips.
Never heard of it.
Steep.
Okay.
Super Bomberman R.
Yes.
And
That's a
Legend
launch
of
title?
Zelda, yep. And Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
So I'm getting Bomberman and Zelda for sure.
Sure.
And maybe 1-2 Switch, depending.
And Puyo Puyo Tetris.
Puyo Puyo, yeah. I'll get that one too.
And Rayman Legends.
Yeah, I'm not going to
And
get that.
Skylanders Imaginators.
I already have those.
And Just Dance 2017.
I'm definitely not getting that.
You say that now, Colin, but then launch day happens.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Like, I'm looking at the Breath of the Wild, Master Edition. It's $130. Like, there's only so much money a man has.
Well, that's true.
That's like half the price of the Switch right there.
Yeah. Do consoles ever really have amazing, flat out, jaw dropping launch titles?
They have title.
Right.
Launch title.
I mean, what launched with PS4 and Xbox One?
PS4 had
Rise.
Killzone. And the Xbox had Rise, and they had
Dead Rising 3.
Oh yeah, Dead Rising 3. Yep. I feel like Breath of the Wild is a much stronger.
Than any of those two consoles had.
Yeah, but then I'm also, fanboy, so.
Sure. But I mean, honestly, like, how many Nintendo properties, games could you possibly want on day one? Like, let's spread that out.
My only complaint is, like I said, that they, Kimishima said that they delayed it for software, and I just don't feel, beyond Breath of the Wild, I don't feel like their software is particularly strong.
Colin, they had to get Puyo Puyo Tetris running perfect.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay.
I'm surprised Skyrim isn't a launch title.
Yeah.
That's weird.
I bet that was like a later announcement.
Sure.
So
yeah.
Man,
I don't know. I'm excited.
I am too. I'm glad that it's out in the open. Glad it's done. It makes me just such more excited for the future.
Mm-hmm.
And I really, 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 really hope the thing sells well, because I can't imagine a world without Nintendo. And if they don't nail this one, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. So
Yeah. We'll see.
they're placing all their bets.
We'll know more tomorrow during the Treehouse event. I mean, it sounds like all night we're going to get information trickled out to us. So, I mean, everybody keep it, tuned in to your favorite news sites to find out more information. But yeah, I mean, March 3rd, Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. Less than 2 months.
Yeah.
And we're going to have a new Nintendo console.
Yep. How can you argue with that? This is fun, Colin.
Yeah, it was all over the place, but it was good.
Sure. We got pre-orders in during the podcast, so that's exciting.
Yeah, we did. Yes.
We're not going to do our Xbox podcast this week.
No.
We're just going to skip it till next week.
Yep.
This was enough gaming excitement for one night. Plus, we've been dealing with miserable weather all week.
It's an understatement. You more so than me, because you were literally in it.
Yesterday was 12-hour day. Today was a 14-hour day.
No.
Yeah. Monday was a 13-hour day as well. So I'm tired, man.
I don't blame you.
I'm exhausted. So this has been fun. Colin, where can people find you at?
They can find me on Twitter at PDX_geek.
You can find me on Twitter at The Noise. Be sure to follow the show on Twitter at Joys of Games. You could email us, joysofgames@gmail.com. Let us know what you think of the Switch. Are you excited? Are you getting it day one? Which games do you plan on getting? What more did you want that could have impressed you? Just thoughts, feelings, overall impressions. Let us know. Also, Splatoon 2 box art. Whoo boy, that's a sexy piece of art.
Mm-hmm.
Just released. I like it.
Hopefully new amiibo.
Yeah, no kidding, man. Yeah, go over to Facebook. Kid's been killing it on Facebook recently. Go over there, hang out, join in the discussions with the fine people over there. Facebook.com/groups/Toys for Games. Everybody's talking about the Switch, so you Joys of Games listeners will fit right in over there. I promise you. And Colin will be back next week with our Xbox week. We'll talk about Scalebound getting canceled. We'll find something to talk about Xbox wise. But this was a good week for Nintendo.
Definitely.
Yeah. Especially going into tomorrow. There's even more tomorrow. That's the best thing about going to bed tonight, is waking up to more.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, go out there, play some games, get it pre-ordered so you can play some games on March 3rd. And as Nintendo said, share the joy. Good night.